Day 17 of the Lindsay Clancy trial. It was a weird one. Let's talk about it. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm Bob Motta. This is Defense Diaries, and this is our Day 17 Inside the Courtroom coverage. Weird day. An amazing day. Weird day for a trial of this magnitude. To kind of have a day like today was just really weird. It was just a strange day. And everybody's like, from the lawyers to the judges, are very tight-lipped about what's going on. And it's just an unusual set of circumstances in a high-profile trial. I think the one thing is that the judge built in a lot of time, because I think he had told the jury that this thing could go anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. And I mean, it looks like it's going to wrap in 4. So I think he feels like he's got a lot of wiggle room in terms of the jurors not being like overly upset by these short days. And today was crazy short. And we had gotten there early. Margaret was worried about not being able to get into the courtroom. And she was right. I mean, there was a huge line. When we got there, it was already the huge line. And then, of course, the silent, peaceful rally for Lindsay, they had that kind of sectioned off over to the side. And by the time we got there at like 7:30, and we're like a 45-minute drive, there were already hundreds of women over there. And, you know, it was incredible to see, really. Because I can't remember when I saw kind of the first kind of post about that happening. Maybe last week. You know, I don't think it was like more than that. I think the first time I saw that thing posted in terms of them doing that was like the beginning of last week. It could have been a little earlier. I don't know. But the turnout was amazing. And it speaks volumes about this case and what it means to women. And it was powerful to see it. It was powerful to see it. And we got there, and there was really no parking. It was like there were that many people were there, and it's never been an issue to park. And so we finally found a spot on the grass, and we were kind of walking up, and we were walking towards the courthouse, and I was planning on doing some man on the street stuff, go over and talk to the women that were rallying for Lindsay. And like, I think Kevin pulled up earlier today. Like, usually it seems like he pulls up around 8:30, and he doesn't. There's an employee parking lot, which is on the other side, which is where we tried to park. It didn't work. And he always parks in the public lot and just walks right in. But today was obviously different. And when, he pulled in his car, his Bronco, like, everyone was cheering. It was surreal, because this is different than like Yannetti and Jackson and that team, because that was building over years. This is something that has built and gained steam with national attention, like, since the beginning of the trial, really. I mean, there was none of the, huge streams on any kind of pretrial motion work that was done on this case. It's been like a whirlwind, and so when Kevin pulls in and like the crowd just like erupts, it was an awesome thing to see. And he parks and then he comes out and the media swarms him and he gives him like 5 minutes. I mean, the thing about when you're trying a case is you really can't talk beyond generalities. So I mean, you're really limited in what you can say. You just kind of make generic statements, and so he's not really giving much detail. But the one thing that I'm wondering about is I don't know if so. It sounds like Resnick is appearing via Zoom because the judge referred to that as a presentation, and Kevin had said that he was going to have to appear via Zoom. And then it's always been the understanding that Dr. Spinelli was going to be testifying as well. And I did not hear the judge mention Dr. Spinelli. She's critical. I really hope that she's testifying because she's the authority on postpartum stuff. I mean, she literally wrote the book. And so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. And it'll be tomorrow. I mean, he's resting tomorrow for sure. Let me see what's up with you guys. Let me see what's cracking. What is good? How are you guys doing? Man, I came home. It was an early day. And frankly, I was low-key super thankful because we got back here. We went and ate after court. And I immediately went upstairs to my room and shut the door and fell asleep for yeah, right. Thank God. Even though I thought that was kind of it made for kind of an amazing moment. I love that actually. But I'm pretty accustomed to speaking while muted. You get used to it like anything else in life. We're adaptable human beings, we adapt or die. So yeah, I went up there, man, and I was like, oh, I gotta set an alarm because if you sleep for more than an hour, it's brutal. You're sluggish, and then I fell asleep before I actually could set an alarm. I was exhausted apparently because I crashed, and then Allie called me at 4:15 my time, looking for a picture, and I'm like, I'm napping. She's like, oh, all right, don't worry about it. And my mother-in-law's calling me. She probably, I don't know. She's probably seen one of my things and she obviously doesn't know I'm live. So I ended up sleeping 3 hours. So I was groggy when I woke up, and I'm afraid that I'm not gonna be able to fall asleep tonight, so but whatever. So I'm concerned about Spinelli not testifying, and the way that I think it's going to lay out today is that it's going to be boom, boom with Resnick, and if he rests, the Commonwealth is going to start putting their experts on, and I think they have 3 that they're going to put on. Now, remember, because a lot of people seem confused or not really understanding how this portion of the trial works, and essentially what's going on now. We're firmly in the lack of criminal responsibility portion of this case, which is the entire issue in controversy in this case. The homicides, not an issue. I mean, Reddington's been saying since the beginning, that they would have stipulated to all that and just allowed the evidence to come in by agreement without having to put on the testimony. All the records would have come in just to avoid that week or whatever it was, 6-7 days of testimony, trying that part of the case. But, the Commonwealth it's their prerogative to try it however they want to try it. They have no obligation to accept a stipulation, and from the defense side of it, it was one of the first things my dad told me when I was getting into trial work a long time ago. It was like, don't ever stipulate to anything, so, but that's usually the Commonwealth asking for a stipulation from the defense, especially to like records, because records, they have to be authenticated. Foundation has to be laid as to certain aspects of it. But when you're getting them authenticated, that's when you see those really boring witnesses in trials where it's just somebody who comes up, they ask them some questions about their background and experience, and then they'll start asking them about if they're putting photographs in or whatever kind of records it is. They'll lay the foundation for that. They'll authenticate it, and then it can go into evidence. So everything has to be authenticated before it gets in evidence. There's rules of evidence that require us to do that. So short of a stipulation, you've got to do that stuff. So, but we're at the heart of it now. And remember, Massachusetts is really different than a vast majority of the states in terms of this kind of defense, because the burden is wholly on the Commonwealth. They have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Lindsay was not in psychosis, that she did not have postpartum psychosis. They have to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. And it's hard. You just can't see it. That's the thing about mental illness. You can't see it. In terms of, it can manifest in the ways that you're acting and behaviorally speaking, but it's not like a broken arm. It's not like an external injury. It's an internal organ, which is way harder to pinpoint than our heart or our liver or our kidneys or our lungs. Those organs, they can see if there's a spot. They can see if a ventricle needs a stent in it, or however they do that. The brain's different. The brain's just different. It's not like they can take a CAT scan and say, oh, there it is. There's the psychosis. You see that little area, discolored dark area? That's the it doesn't work like that. So, you have this case where the battle is, was she or wasn't she? And it really boils down to, first, common sense. You look at who she was historically. You listen to all the evidence in terms of the people that knew her best about what kind of mother she was, what kind of person she was, how much she loved the kids. That's your baseline. That's where you start. And like I've said, obviously they have dug, and I'm talking about the Commonwealth, trying to find anybody on the planet that would say that she was like, I don't know. I got a weird vibe about her as a mom. Like, that didn't happen. It wasn't the case. She was a loving mother. So you've got that aspect of it, and that's where you start. And then you're trying to figure out how it ended the way it ended. And to me, and anybody can think whatever they want about the case, there's only one plausible explanation. And it sure the hell isn't she didn't want to be a mom anymore. So she decided to kill her kids. I mean, that's such a profoundly stupid motive that I can't even believe that it comes out of people's mouths. You know? But the reality is I was having a really interesting conversation in the hallway today after court was done, and somebody, they're actually making a documentary about it. What she said to me is, it's when people are doing that, people are trying to rationalize a completely irrational thing, which is true. It's hard for us as a species to rationalize this. I mean, I can't be mad at people that are like, but what about the babies? Like, what about the babies? Screw her. Like, what about the baby? She killed her own baby. I mean, I'm disappointed that they refuse to look at the big picture here, that they can't allow themselves to do that. But I mean, obviously, all of us understand the sentiment behind why people feel that way, and it's the bigger picture in terms of, I think, what our community understands. And I think that millions of women around the world understand that there's a bigger issue here. It's bigger than Lindsay. And like everything in life, in order to effectuate change, there has to be some kind of catastrophic event. That's when change occurs. I'm talking on a massive scale, because people can never get along and amicably decide to do something. If you've got opposing views, there has to be something that happens that's just massive in order for it to spur movement. And this case is that for mental health, for women's mental health in particular, for specifically postpartum depression and postpartum psychosis. It's like I've been saying, it's forever. I mean, we have an opportunity here to make sure that those 3 beautiful little babies didn't die in vain. Something positive comes from it. And I can't stand that people try to turn this into a political thing. I cannot tell you how much I hate that. If you think that mental illness gives a shit which party in a completely man-made, human-made construct as a government, if you think mental illness gives a fuck about what, like, it doesn't even make any sense. It sounds ridiculous saying it. Politics have nothing to do with this. I mean, if you want to get to brass tacks, does it always boil down to money and resources and what they're willing to allocate? Yeah, which is fucking bullshit. I mean, what's more important than our brains as a species? It's, our ability to use our minds the way that we are is what separates us from the animals. That's it. And opposable thumbs, aside from apes. It's like, I mean, what is more important than allocating resources to make sure that we're all taking care of our brains and trying to understand as much as we can about them? It's just like brick wall shit, It's so frustrating. All right, so somebody had made a comment yesterday, and it kind of stuck with me. I was in a goofy mood. There's no question. Like somebody's like, I was looking in the comments, like I always do on replay. Somebody's like, I watched for an hour and a half, and you barely talked about what happened in court. I was like, huh, it's true. Yeah, it started off with a bang with the 5 minutes on mute, and then the whole village, and I was really in a very good mood because I thought it was a productive day for the defense in court, and um, I just thought that Zeisel did very well. But then again, yesterday there wasn't a ton of action in court like today. So what I figure we'll do is when I'm live tweeting, I'm trying to watch for jury reactions. I'm tweeting, and some of the like a lot of the reporters have the skill to be able to kind of be watching and typing. I can't do that. It's not my skill set. I did bring my laptop today to see if that helped because I definitely can't do it on the phone. I can kind of do it when I have my computer. So, but I thought we might as well just watch testimony because it's short. Because I want to see what your vibe was on this. And people were asking, I had no idea because people are like, oh, um, was Kavanaugh? Because we heard Zeisel mention a Kavanaugh, a chaplain, and I was looking at the list and I saw Kavanaugh and I did the unthinkable. I just assumed because it was a woman's name that it wasn't a chaplain. you know, it's like that. There's that like that kind of riddle, about like I can't remember exactly what it is, but Allie and I always talk about it because it goes to that kind of cognitive bias. And it has something to do with a child who gets in an accident and there's a relationship and the surgeon that gets in an accident with one of the parents and they get to the hospital and the surgeon says that I can't operate on that child because it's my child. And like, you're like, and who is the doctor? And like, if you ask that like riddle back in the 50s, like people would just sit there and be like, I don't know. I don't know. You ask it in the 90s, a few more people get it. You ask in the 2000s, a few more people. And still, that like, oh, well, it's a surgeon, so it has to be a guy. Well, obviously it's the kid's mother. So shame on me because I saw the Kavanaugh name when we were going through the list. So apologies. The bigger thing is I really I don't know. I don't know. Because in all honesty, I really I'm not bothering Kevin Reddington when he's in the middle of a trial. You know, you just don't do it. You just don't do it. It's like if you've been there, I mean, like he's barely there when you're like his mind is elsewhere, obviously. He's got a lot of shit that he's got going on, clearly. Um, yeah. Yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead. All right, so we'll see. Oh my god, her house is fabulous. Yeah, I'm sure she'd let me do that. Like the whole setup. Like it's like drizzling a little bit, but I'm under at least my computer's under umbrella. I like this setup. This is kind of the backyard area. Um, but I would do that as a vertical, kind of like a walking tour. Their house is spectacular. It's amazing. Like truly. Yeah. This morning that live was awesome. It was so cool. If you guys haven't watched it, you should. I know Allie ran most of it, like, during her coverage today, but it was really I could have gone on for hours. The only reason I cut it off is because it was getting close. I think I ended up stopping that at, like, 8:50 because there were people are already in the building and they were starting to go up, and I like to try to there's one particular seat that I get because it gives me the best view where it's not obstructed of the jury behind the cameraman. It's like on the aisle. And Lauren Conlon sat next to me today. So that was like I would have loved to have been able to just interview all of them, any of them that were willing to talk. It was awesome. There was the one woman that started talking about Patrick, and I'm like, can we just talk about like I get it. It's not lost on me. Like, did Patrick potentially miss some major red flags? Yeah. It's a different thing though. I mean, in terms of like, he's not a mental health professional, and I'm not, again, like I can't compare other people to myself and what I think that I would be able to recognize if Allie was going through some shit like that for 3 months. I feel like, I mean, but I mean, my whole thing is just like, can we please keep the focus on what it needs to be kept on, which is the mental health and the system and the failures. Yeah, he's been saying it. He's been saying Spinelli was going to testify. He's been saying it. He said it to me as like 2 days ago. Spinelli. But there's been something going on, which they've been very tight-lipped about because they don't want it getting out to the public. So that includes me. And I'm absolutely cool with that. You know, I mean, and the bottom line is if I knew, I wouldn't be telling you because they don't want it getting out to the public. Like what's going on. There's a risk, an inherent risk in that. You want to believe that the jurors aren't watching any coverage. Judge asks them every morning. And, they're claiming we're being good, but we've talked about it multiple times. I don't know how, when you live in this area, how you're able to avoid it, whether it's on your device, which I'm sure people are still using their phones. Like, I do not think that the judge took custody of all their devices. Bring in your phones, your laptops, your iPads, your TVs, your kids' iPads, your husband, your spouse, like you're what? They're not doing that, and then the other part of it is when you're walking around in the public. Everybody's talking about this case. And you don't even have to engage in the conversation. You're just standing there and overhear people talking about shit. So if it gets out that there's like a problem with the witness or there's some and so you keep that kind of stuff out of the public sphere. It's none of our business, and frankly, I mean, who's going to get called is who's going to get called. So all I know is that the judge said today, when he was kind of going through how he thinks it's going to shake out tomorrow, The Resnick presentation, he called it. And then I thought he said that Kevin was resting. Unless he stuck Spinelli in there real quickly and I just didn't hear it. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do this. I'm going to shift over here. I'm starting to get a little rain. I'll be right back. I'm going to shift because the rain's picking up a little. All right. And I wanted to eat a potato chip. Margaret buys these Utz's dark russet. So they're kind of like, they almost look a little burnt, like intentionally, and they're delicious. Yeah, the backlighting kind of sucks, but whatever. You guys will deal with it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a really weird day. It was a really weird day. And I was tweeting. So did the interviews with all the people at the rally. It was amazing. I hope that you guys watch it. It was just like amazing. And then I go in and then, and it took forever for them to start again. And we're out in the hallway like every day when this happens. And this was an extended delay today. And then we get in there. I'm surprised they let us in to watch it, because then I see the parade of jurors coming one by one to the side of the bench, getting sworn in, and the judge asking them some questions. It had to be, did you see the rally out there? Yeah, I saw the rally coming in. Did seeing that rally in any way affect your ability to be able to follow the law in this case? Did it affect your ability to be unbiased and just apply the law in terms of what you've seen with the evidence and the facts in the case? And, and they're under oath. They're saying, nah, it didn't impact me. I'm sure that's what it was. Because at first, anytime you see jurors, you're always like, oh, with social media, you're like, man, did somebody like get caught watching the tubes? I don't know. So I feel pretty confident that's what it was. And again, like, that's not something that if you ask anybody, any of the attorneys that are going to tell you what's going on with that. When the trial's done, then, we'll confirm all that stuff. But all right, so let's pull this up. Let me get over here, fix the screen, do this full. Hello? Oh, what's going on? It's getting a little squirrely on me. All right. Okay, so this is Chaplain Cavanaugh. I mean, I have to say, and I'll be curious as to your thoughts, kind of an unusual woman. She seemed a little unusual to you guys. I don't know. Let's watch. It's short. It's a short bit of testimony.
Good morning. Just face, Madam Clerk, raise your right hand, please.
The testimony of the evidence you submit to the court. Sorry, there is not coming between the Commonwealth and the the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Yes. Thank you. You have a seat.
Just watch your step
All right. Well, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
All right, I just ask you to speak into that microphone and keep your voice up so the jury can hear you. Attorney Reddington.
Thank you. Good morning. Can you tell us your name and spell your last name, please?
My name is Sheila Cavanaugh, Cavanaughh.
And what time?
I mean, right there. she's kind of a little bit unusual, right? Or is it just me? She seemed very nice. But her testimony is low-key huge. Her testimony completely obliterates, if she is to be believed, in particular by the jurors, obliterates this concept that has been raised within the confines of the trial, that Dr. Zeisel planted the "I heard voices" concept in Lindsay's mind. Right? Because she's there before Zeisel was able to get into the hospital to see Lindsay. The first time she's claiming, as we're about to see, that Lindsay says something. And when we get to it, I'm going to stop it because I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the word that she uses to describe it. And then when we get to the cross, we'll talk about that too. All right, I'm going to play it at 1.25. I'm going to kick up the speed a little bit. And I'm going to be reading your comments as we're going.
Where do you live in?
I live in the town of Belmont, Massachusetts.
And what are you doing for work now?
I am a board-certified chaplain at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston.
And I didn't know that there were board-certified chaplains. What does that mean?
Well, to become board-certified, you need minimally a master's degree in theology or divinity. You need to complete 1,600 hours of training post your master's degree. 1,200 of those hours occur in a clinical setting, and 400 of those hours are in a classroom setting, where we study various disciplines: psychology, sociology, philosophy, theology, and ethics.
Skip this shit. Right.
Beyond that, can even know competencies before we endorse.
And before you obtained the board certification in your education to allow you to be a chaplain, what did you do for work?
At Fidelity Investments.
Are you married?
When I was pursuing,
So she went
at Fidelity.
16 years.
So she went from an investment banker to being a chaplain. Unusual life arc. It's an unusual life arc. You know, usually you would think that there was some kind of profound life event that made her completely change course. I'm speculating, obviously, but she's an interesting witness.
Years.
And are you married?
I am.
You have a family?
I do. My husband and I are the parents of 4 adopted children. When I was pursuing my master's degree at Boston College, it was a 3-year master's, but it took me 5 years because we adopted our 4th child while I was in graduate school. She was a 14-year-old girl from Bogota, Colombia.
And how long have you been working now as a chaplain at Brigham and Women's Hospital?
7 years.
In the course of your duties as a chaplain at Brigham and Women's Hospital, did circumstances bring you in contact with Lindsay Clancy?
Yes, they did.
Can you tell the jurors what happened?
I arrived on the morning of Wednesday, January 25th, 2023. I arrived at approximately 8:30 that morning because I was there to relieve the overnight chaplain who was carrying the pager. I was taking over the pager shift, which went from 9 to 1 p.m., although I was working a full day. When I arrived that morning, she said to me, "Did you hear the news?" And I...
Okay, so sustain.
Okay.
So you got to object, so you can't say what someone told you, okay? That's
Oh,
what you're saying?
okay.
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 So I can say, as a result of a conversation with that person, what happened?
I was summoned.
Yeah, she's clearly a very compassionate, loving person. But here's what I'm going to tell you. we are biased. I mean, for the most part. I mean, obviously we have some folks in here that have a difference of opinion, but for those of us that are on the pro Lindsay Clancy side of this case, because we believe what happened, we have that bias when we're looking at her and listening to her. When I'm online, there's, like beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? So, but here we have to listen carefully, because what I really want to talk about, the biggest thing for me, which frankly I was shocked the Commonwealth didn't jump all over this. I can see why maybe they didn't, because you never ask a question that you don't know the answer to on cross-examination. It's my best guess, but you'll see what I'm talking. I'll stop when we get to it. I'm sure you know.
To the director of spiritual care's office.
Did you have a conversation with her?
I did.
All right. And as a result of that conversation, what did you do?
I went to Unit 8C in the Tower building of Brigham to meet with Lindsay Clancy.
And what time of day was this?
Roughly between 8:30 and 9:30 that morning.
And when you went in to see Lindsay, what did you observe?
Well, the unit itself was filled with law enforcement officers, both outside the doors of the unit. There was Brigham security, but the unit itself was flooded. There were people from Plymouth County, Boston City Police, Brigham Security. So I had to make my way through concentric circles of law enforcement to even get to the room. I was permitted to see Lindsay, although she could not speak at that time.
And what was her condition that you observed?
She was dressed in medical armor. She had tubes. She was intubated. She had bandages. She had a neck brace. She was just covered and layered in equipment that enabled her to breathe.
I'm showing you Exhibit 121 and asking, this may be South Shore, or it could be Brigham and Women's, but is it indicative of what she appeared to be when you first saw her?
That looks like it's from South Shore because yes.
Does she have the same?
Similar.
Very similar?
Very similar.
That?
Yes, very similar.
Did you see her again on another date?
I did. I saw her the next day. Again, she could not speak. She was intubated as well. That was the first week that she was hospitalized.
When was the next time that you saw her?
The next time I saw her was the following week. I have a picture here of my visits. I saw her on Tuesday, January 31st, and she had been extubated at that point so she could speak.
So the tube had been removed. She was able to communicate, and that was on January 31st?
I believe she was extubated the weekend of the 28th, but I didn't work that weekend, so I saw her on Tuesday, the 31st.
All right. Tell the jurors what you observed and what, if any, conversation you had with Lindsay on the 31st. And let me ask you, how long had it been that they removed the tube?
Perhaps a day or two.
A day or two. Okay. Tell the jurors what she said to you.
She continued to look like the photograph you just saw. She was covered, tubes everywhere, the neck brace. Her emotional state was very neutral, a flat affect. But I remember vividly the first thing she said to me. Now, she had heard me for a couple of days. We had been praying together. And so when I went in on Tuesday, the 31st, she said to me as I held her hand to comfort her, "I am so glad my children are safe."
Was there any other comment?
Okay. So I've seen comments in here. This isn't even the one that I'm talking about. This isn't even the one that I'm talking about. So here I tagged this one. This is kind of it. So I see Dux, Bob, how was Kevin explaining the glad my kids are safe 1 week after? By then, she didn't know what happened. I'm confused. So the way that I take that is that she's still in some form of psychosis. And she thinks that because she did what she did, that the kids are safe because they're in heaven. I mean, that's what I was thinking when she said it. And then Reddington kind of follows up on that. It's obviously it's an answer, or it's a question or a statement that can be construed a lot of different ways. Right? Because if the voice is saying, the only way that you and your kids are going to be safe is if you kill them and kill yourselves. Like, I don't think that she was confused thinking that the kids were still alive. I don't, and the part of this trial is that we're not going to hear from Lindsay. Like, that's evident, right? You guys get that now? I mean, at some point, the judge is going to have to, go through his typical, kind of admonishment to the defendant, that she's got a right to testify, and she's got a right to not testify. The jurors cannot hold the fact that she's not testifying against her. But we were talking about it yesterday or 2 days ago. Like, everybody wants to hear from her, but there's no way she's getting on the stand. Like, from a strictly emotional perspective, she wouldn't be able to do it. She wouldn't be able to power through it. It's an interesting thing that she said. Because look, it was in the report, like whatever she was writing in her notes, which we get to on cross, clearly her saying that was in there. So if you're Kevin Reddington reading this, when you get this in discovery, you're probably thinking the same thing a lot of us are. The one thing that Kevin has the ability to do is be able to go to Lindsay and ask her, what did you mean by this? But whatever Lindsay's response to that is not coming in at trial, because she's not going to be testifying. It's an interesting statement that cuts both ways, obviously. I mean, you could certainly construe it as I see Dux as basically thinking, like, wait, she thinks the kids are okay? Because that's the other part of this that we haven't heard, which I think the jurors are going to want to hear about, is, are you telling us that is like the second that she ends up throwing herself out the window and hitting the ground, that the psychosis ended and the voice went away? That's going to be something that Kevin's going to have to address in closing the best he can with the evidence that was presented. I mean, he can make argument. That's what closings are. But it's going to be something that the jurors are going to want to know. Anything that we want to know, you're guaranteed the jurors want to know it too. Let me see what y'all are saying in here. I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. I would think so. Is that what you're hearing? Is that what people are saying online? I mean, I wouldn't trust shit you see online, to be honest with you. Is that what you're seeing, Melissa? I haven't seen that. I haven't really been like kind of scrolling online all that much. I just haven't had the time to do it. Oh, yeah. Hank and Xander Bob, you're right. If you Google her, read the award she received from Holy Cross University, lost 2 siblings and watched 2 other siblings suffer through muscular dystrophy. Wow. It's a lot. Yeah, we're going to keep playing it. Patience, Donna. Patience. I'm trying to make up for not talking about the trial enough yesterday. We're going to talk about the trial, but we're going to, we're not watching it for the first time. I promise I'm going to play it.
My children are safe.
Was there any other conversation that you had with her?
I replied theologically to Lindsay and I said, Lindsay, your children are safe. They're safe in heaven with God. And I held her hand throughout that conversation and we prayed for them.
Did she make any other statements to you?
She did. She alluded to having heard a voice.
That's it. Right there. She alluded to. What does that mean? What does that mean? She used the word alluded to twice. Like I was sitting there in the gallery. I'm like, what does that mean? Alluded to. I'm going to read you all. I'm sure everybody has a pretty firm so allude. Let me go to Merriam-Webster. So allude's definition is to make indirect reference. To make indirect reference. I don't know. Let's keep listening. I want to bloop it back.
And the
Statement.
that conversation, and we prayed for them.
Did she make any other statements to you?
She did. She alluded to having heard a voice. And the voice, according to Lindsay, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe.
And did she indicate whether it was a male voice, a female voice, loud, soft?
She alluded to the fact that it was a male voice and it was persistent.
What does she mean alluded to? Because she quotes it. So she says she alludes. Let's listen to it one more time. This is critical. This is critical testimony. And this is the part where I was saying I was surprised, but not surprised, that the Commonwealth didn't jump on the fact that she used the word alluded to. Because that is insinuating that she didn't say the words, I heard a voice. She's saying that says the quoted thing that she says, which I think goes back to explain her original statement that I'm so glad the kids are safe, based on the next thing that she quotes Lindsay is saying right here.
Alluded to having heard a voice. And the voice, according to Lindsay, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe.
All right, right? So you can take that as Lindsay says if she does not that the voice told her if I didn't follow the command. So maybe Lindsay doesn't say, oh, I was hearing a voice, because I don't know why she would use the word alluded to. Like the alluded bothers me, just does. But if you say a voice told me that if I didn't follow the command, neither me or my children would be safe. So maybe she doesn't say the words, I heard a voice in my head. Maybe she says, I was given a command that said, you know, if I didn't kill myself and the children, neither of us would be safe. It's weird.
Having heard a voice, and the voice, according to Lindsay, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe.
And did she indicate whether it was a male voice, a female voice, loud, soft?
She alluded to the fact that it was a male voice and it was persistent.
Any further
You're saying
conversation that you
alluding.
recall about that, not about general things, but, you know?
That came up several times. I visited.
I mean, there's also the possibility that Chaplain Cavanaugh here is just kind of misusing the word alluded. I mean, that exists as a possibility in the world. I mean, she seems extremely intelligent. So that's the third time she uses the word alluded, right? She uses it 3 times in describing what Lindsay is telling her about the voice. Let's look at this objectively. Don't have a position on this. Let's look at this objectively. If you're a juror, what are you taking from this? If you're a juror, are you latching on? Like, did you guys, let me ask you this. Did you latch on to the fact that she kept using the word alluded when you were watching it with Allie or wherever you watched it today? Was that something that struck you? It struck me. But words matter. There's power in words. I want to look at some comments. I'm going to keep it paused. Tracy Needham, I assume she meant safe with God since she knew this woman was a chaplain. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, if it was looked into, we sure the hell didn't hear about it in the trial. You know? Real T says, I know I'm not a juror, but to make a decision, but you are. I mean, you're obviously not a juror, a juror in this case, but you're a lay person that could very easily be called for, like, you are the jury. You're the jury. I'm the jury. You know, we're just people that are not a party to this case, that are hearing the facts and the evidence and what we think is going to be thought most likely by most of the jurors in one form or another, right? I mean, I always say that, when you're watching these trials, no matter what kind of trial it is, that we're the jury. I always consider our chat to be the jury. If I didn't, I wouldn't run polls. I use the polls as an indicator because we're a segment of society. And, it's what jurors are. You say, I may need to hear more about after the tragedy, the days after. I mean, I don't know that we're going to get it. This might be it. This is the days after. Zizal was the days after. You know, I think we have to resign ourselves to the fact that Lindsay is not getting up there to tell her story. You know? And I mean, I assure you that those are conversations that Kevin and Lindsay are having, that they've been having about the concept of her testifying. I mean, we have an obligation as attorneys to have a very thorough discussion or discussions about whether or not they're going to testify or they should testify. You know, that's something that absolutely has happened, may still be happening. You know, because a lot of times you have that discussion before the trial, during the trial, after the government rests, after some of your witnesses testify. I mean, you're revisiting it. Oh, I haven't nailed it down, but I think we're going to be doing it on Saturday. It looks like there's some inclement weather. I'm hoping that helps a big turnout, because maybe holiday weekends that were otherwise, you know, planned for, in terms of like we're going to the beach, you know, we're doing something that may be spoiled by weather. Let's go hang out indoors and talk with a bunch of other true crime fans. So, I mean, I'll let you know. Like, I'm gonna figure it out tomorrow. Per usual, the notice is gonna suck, but oh wait, so Spinelli is posting. Where? I want to pull it up. Let me know. Where's Spinelli posting? Is she like actively posting? Where are you guys seeing that? Yeah, I agree with this. We'll get to that, Tangled. We'll talk about that on Cross, because that's when it comes up. Sorry, I'm looking through the comments. I want to see what you guys are saying. Oh, I am. I think I'm reading them all. I kind of read them in pieces. So Ray Duet, if I'm saying that right, asks Defense Diaries, does Lindsay matter-of-factly know she took the kids, or is she going by what she's been told? I've been asking and get ignored. I mean, who can answer that? You know, it's clear she doesn't have amnesia. I mean, I'm certainly not trying to ignore it. I don't know the answer. I would be speculating. You know? I mean, that's another thing about the psychosis aspect of it. You know, that the jury's going to need to know. Like, how does that kind of traumatic event, how can it, because you can never know unless you're in somebody's brain, and you can't be in somebody's brain in terms of memory recall, in terms of our brain protecting us from ourselves and blocking out traumatic events. And does that happen over time? Does that happen instantaneously? I mean, there's a lot of questions about that. I mean, it's a great question. I'm certainly not ignoring it, but the fact of the matter is I can't answer it. Can't. I mean, I think all drugs wear off, right? If you didn't become sober after taking a hit of crack after a bit, then you wouldn't have to keep smoking crack. I don't think this is the same thing. I don't think it's the same kind of thing. I see ducks. Sorry, Bob, I was driving, but no, I am on Lindsay's side. I wasn't questioning that at all. I see ducks. It's like this conversation isn't about being on Lindsay's side or not being on. We're trying to look at this stuff objectively from the perspective of the juror, because this was critical testimony for a lot of different reasons. And my question is does it raise more questions than it answers? The alluded thing is hard to wrangle with. It just is. It's unusual. It's an unusual way to phrase something if you're quoting somebody. Right. I mean, not speaking coherently. Fluke girl, Melissa. I didn't pick up on that at all when she was testifying. She's implying something. Right. Right. That's right. She's saying that she did not actually hear the words. That's what alluding to means. Not directly saying something. Wonder if she's saying something like there was a man telling me. But doesn't that require a follow-up question from her? What do you mean a man? like a physical man in the room with you, or what do you mean? She says, no, my head. Yeah, she was not explicit. But Red's a smart guy. Red also didn't ask, what do you mean alluded to? And you know how Red is. Red's not afraid to correct a witness, even his own witness. Like, you say allude, what do you mean by that? Like trying to get in front of it. Like, I just, it's a dangerous gambit for the Commonwealth to ask what she meant by allude, which they don't do. Because it's doing that thing that you're not supposed to do. The number one rule of cross is never ask a question you don't know the answer to, because it could absolutely bite you in the ass. Leah says, I think she's using the wrong terminology. And we will know in the closing statements if they were watching. Yeah, it usually relies on the listener or reader understanding the hidden meaning from context. And that's what I'm saying. Like, is she using the word allude from the fact that she said what she said? Like the thing that she quotes her saying, which is, the voice commanded me that if I didn't kill myself and the kids, that we weren't going to be safe. And she's taking that as like, okay, well, there wasn't a physical person there. So it had to have been a voice in her head. So she's drawing that from that. I don't know. You don't think so? I don't know. I don't know. Kosh says, for me, I feel like the fact that you didn't just straight out say she alluded to it is more believable. Beautiful, says Bob. Do you think she's using alludes because in previous testimony she was told that she couldn't directly say directly what someone else told her she thought that pertained to Lindsay also? Potentially, but then she's quoting something that Lindsay said. I mean, and when we get to cross, they're pointing out things that she's quoting Lindsay saying. Because that thing that Red was talking about early is that, the trick that Allie's always trying to tell you guys about, like a way to get around a hearsay, an answer that will require hearsay, which is, okay, well, this person said something to you, and what did you do in response? So without saying the thing that they said to you, what did you do in response to what that person said? Or what did you say in response? But it's usually, what did you do in response to that? Somebody says, my house is on fire. And your answer is, you can't say, they told me their house is on fire. You said, well, I called 911. I called the fire department. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is what I'm worried about. So I'm just saying alluded, but giving specifics doesn't mesh. And that's what I'm saying. Dana Pooh, like, I'm worried that everybody isn't going to feel like that. Like, I think that there's going to be people that missed it. If she had used the word alluded once, I'd be like, okay. She uses it 3 times. And, maybe it's not going, because the voice is kind of the whole case. The voice, whether or not she heard the voice, is really the biggest issue in the case. The Commonwealth is obviously saying bullshit. She didn't hear a voice. She made the shit up after the fact to cover for herself. The defense is desperately trying to get it in there through this witness, proof that she told somebody about the voice prior to Dr. Zeisel getting to her and speaking with her. Right? I mean, that's why she's such an important witness. This happens before Red went in and got the court order to get Dr. Zeisel in to see Lindsay. I mean, obviously, there's no way in hell that Dr. Zeisel went in and told her to say something to Patrick that didn't happen. Like, he's never doing that. He's been doing it too long. Is way too much into, I mean, it was such a defamatory kind of accusation against him. But it's one of those things where, from the jury's perspective, you can't unring a bell. The jury heard what they heard, and it exists in their orbit of what they have been told, what they've heard at trial. It's a thing that's out there. I don't know. Let's keep going.
The male voice, and it was according to Lindsay, told her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe.
And did she indicate whether it was a male voice, a female voice, loud, soft?
She alluded to the fact that it was a male voice and it was persistent.
Any further conversation that you recall about that, not about general things,
That came up several times. I visited Lindsay minimally 14 times while she was hospitalized at the Brigham, and the voice conversation came up several times during several of our visits.
Now, after Lindsay was transferred or cleared to go from Brigham and Women's Hospital, did she go to another facility?
She did. She went to Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital.
And do you know when that was?
That was roughly late February, perhaps around the 23rd.
And did you continue to see Lindsay at Spalding Rehab?
I did.
Do you know when she left Spalding Rehab?
In the late March, early April time frame, perhaps.
Okay. Now, Brigham and Women's Hospital and Spalding Rehab are under the same umbrella of hospitals. Is that right?
They are. So Brigham and Women's Hospital and Spalding Rehab are under the Mass General Brigham complex. So for me to visit Lindsay in Spalding, I was still within the same hospital complex, and her psychiatrist at Spalding, as well as the chaplains, advised me to continue.
You can't say what anybody told me.
Oh, sorry.
So when she was discharged from Spalding Rehab, where did she go?
She went to Duxbury State Hospital.
And fair to say that would be back around February. It's been a little more than 3 years, so 3.5 years.
Yes.
Is that correct? Now, when you saw her in Spalding Rehab and in Brigham and Women's, you were acting in the course of your job. Is that right?
That's correct.
You're being compensated, you're getting your paycheck and that type of thing.
Yes.
How many times have you seen Lindsay at Duxbury Hospital?
Perhaps 200 times.
Tell the jury why you continue to see her for 200.
Sustained.
So can you tell us how often on a weekly basis you would see her at Duxbury?
Yes. When Lindsay was admitted to Duxbury State Hospital, I continued to see her on a weekly basis. We had built up a very comfortable, respectful rapport, and I felt it was in her best interest to continue that as she healed. She was still in deep grief. She was suffering.
Sustained.
So,
That opinion will be stricken.
so did she express anything about her children and their loss over that period of 200 times that you saw her thereabouts in Duxbury?
Objection.
No, overruled.
Yes.
Other jurors?
Lindsay talks frequently about her children. She loves them deeply. She carries immense grief.
Objection.
Overruled. Next question.
And has that continued to your...
What tweet? What tweet? Are you guys talking about a tweet up here? Let me see. Wow. Right. I mean, she does have no reason to lie. She is credible, but the way she's wording things, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, she obviously spent a lot of time I'm certainly not criticizing her. Are people criticizing her in chat? I don't, I'm just concerned with how the jury's going to view the testimony. Because we're going to get into it on cross. Because she never writes it down. She never writes what she's saying, any of this down. And I think she's got a very viable, legitimate reason as to why, in terms of the things that she typically writes down. She's not a medical doctor. She's not diagnosing her. You know, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that the Zeisels of the world write down, not a chaplain. But what we're trying to do here is figure out, you know, I mean, I hope these are the same conversations that they're going to have back in deliberations. Somebody's going to pick up on the alluded thing. One of those jurors are going to pick up on it. So G. Purr says she was in no shape to say complete sentences. That's for sure. I mean, she's just, what, a day out of being, you know, having the intubation pulled out. She's got major injuries. I'm sure she's on painkillers. It was all piecemeal, I'm sure, hence allude, infer, probably said in bites, not like a conversation. That's certainly possible. Yeah, I mean, obviously. I mean, I thought I was pretty clear about that. That we have to look at, like, we have to look at this objectively. This is an exercise. This thing's going to a jury. They're going to deliberate. What we are saying in our chat makes not a bad, like, no difference in terms of what's going to happen in this case. All the chatter in the outside world doesn't matter. It's what's that jury going to do? I mean, if you can't have that conversation, then what's the point? Yeah, I don't think she's lying at all. She has zero incentive to lie. You know, and she's a deeply religious woman. You know, when they're swearing her in, it means something to her. It's not a question of whether or not, like, she's up there lying. It's a question of whether or not people are going to take the way she's carefully wording things and the fact that she didn't write it. When again, I think she gives a completely reasonable explanation why she didn't write that down in her notes. But it's always that thing. I mean, it's the first thing that you're going to attack, no matter which side you're on. It's like in a police report. You know, when somebody, like I talked about this a week ago, somebody gets on the stand and says something that's in no police report, that has been spoken to on multiple occasions by the police, and not once have they ever said the thing. And then they come into court and they say it for the first time. That's the way a lawyer is going to attack it. Okay, well, you're coming in here testifying that this person said or did that, but you never mentioned it. And all the times that you talk to police, it's the same concept here. I think the biggest difference is, to me, she's more credible than a cop. She's got no horse in the race. She's got no reason to lie. I mean, one could argue that as she's seen Lindsay 200 times, she's Lindsay's spiritual advisor. I'm sure she has deep affection for Lindsay. I mean, you could argue that maybe she is biased. I mean, if I'm the Commonwealth, that's what I'm arguing. In closing. All right, let's keep rolling.
Observation.
It continues presently.
When was the last time that you saw Lindsay in Duxbury?
Just prior to the trial starting.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Commonwealth?
Thank you. Excuse me. Good morning.
Good morning.
You were talking about on January 25th, 2023, when you first saw Lindsay in direct examination, and you said that there were a lot of police officers in the area, correct?
Correct.
But you mentioned that some of them were security personnel from the hospital, correct?
Correct.
And you're aware that the security personnel for the hospital don't work for the state police, the Duxbury police, or the Plymouth County DA's office, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so they're separate and apart from law enforcement, correct?
Yes.
And then are you also aware that on January 25th, 2023, there was a search warrant being executed to collect evidence from the defendant and from the belongings that she had at the hospital?
No, I was not aware of that.
Were you aware that that collection of the search warrant required state police and personnel from the crime lab to be present for the collection of evidence?
I was not aware of that.
Were you aware that following that, at any given time, there were only officers, either Duxbury police, state police, or Plymouth County sheriffs at her room, the defendant's room, at any given time?
I do recall that.
And they were stationed outside her room, correct, in the hallway?
Yes.
So that the only time you saw this large amount of officers present was on the 25th, when there were security from the hospital and search warrants being executed, correct?
Perhaps.
Now, you mentioned that on January 31st, 2023, you spoke to the defendant, and she told you that she heard a voice telling her that if she did not follow the command, neither she nor her children would be safe, correct?
Correct.
You wrote very detailed notes that are contained in the Brigham and Women's Hospital records regarding your interactions with Lindsay Clancy, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And in all of these notes that detail every time you interacted with her, you never once wrote that she told you she heard a voice or what that voice said, correct?
Correct.
And you also said that this voice, talking about the voice, came up in several of your meetings, correct?
Correct.
And you never once wrote about any of it in any of your very detailed notes, correct?
Well, chaplain notes are not verbatim transcripts of patient conversations. I'm not there to evaluate the patient. I'm there to bear witness to their suffering.
Okay, but the question was, you did not document those statements in your...
See, that was an amazing answer. It's the truth. It's the actual answer. I'm going to play it again. She handled Cross without flinching. You know, I thought she was fabulous on Cross.
Said that this voice, talking about the voice, came up in several of your meetings, correct?
Correct.
And you never once wrote about any of it in any of your very detailed notes, correct?
Well, chaplain notes are not verbatim transcripts of patient conversations. I'm not there to evaluate the patient. I'm there to bear witness to their suffering.
Okay, but the question was, you did not document those statements in your notes, correct?
Correct.
But you did document...
I'm there to bear witness to her suffering. When she said that in court, I got goosebumps. I remember. It's like, damn. Oh, you need Allie? I wish you were here too, because we'd have a pretty interesting conversation about it. I'm seeing your chat. I see people like, oh, I'm trying to ask a lawyer. I can't help it. I'm always thinking like a lawyer. But you guys are thinking like jurors. I'm definitely thinking like a lawyer. I can't not do that. As much as I may try, I can't do it. All right, we'll check that out when she leaves the stand. Thank you. Shanta says, watch when she leaves the stand, her looking at Red with a little nod, and he looks back at her, I think liking what he heard from her. I mean, she's potentially an incredibly helpful witness. What was Allie saying about this? Like, I didn't get to listen, obviously. Did Allie pick up on the alluded part? Kate says, I think I took it differently than you, Bob. Sorry to say. You don't have to apologize. I'm just telling you what the definition of lewd is. I'm looking directly at it in my phone. It's a very simple to make indirect reference, period. So somebody else say, oh, well, lewd means no. I just read it from Merriam-Webster. I'm not like, I'm Team Clancy. I'm Team Lindsay all day. Let's not forget that. This is a different, like, if you guys can't take having an intellectual conversation about what the jury might think, I can't help you. I'm not attacking this witness. She's a wonderful woman. She's a spiritual advisor to a woman who was suffering more than anybody I can think of in recent history. That's not what this isn't about attacking. This is about trying to figure out how the jury might take that testimony. Not just the direct, but also the cross. Does that make sense? Like people getting all worked up. Tangled says Merriam-Webster. I just read you the definition. Is it different? Like, do you have a hardcover dictionary? Maybe it's different. I didn't see anything about can mean refer directly. It's got, there's a hyperlink to the word indirect in the definition in Merriam-Webster's online. What was Allie saying? What was Allie saying? She had to take Scout to the doctor, to a minute clinic. That's why she's not here. Real life always gets in the way. All right, let's keep going across.
And some other statements in those notes, correct?
Perhaps.
For example, on February 6th, 2023, in a note that you wrote regarding your interaction with the defendant, you said that, or you wrote, Lindsay welcomed the visit and shared her fears of, quote, not being able to walk again, end quote. She continued to express her fears of how her inability to walk may make her vulnerable to others in the future. Do you recall writing that?
Yes.
Do you recall writing on February 9th, 2023, that the defendant was sitting in a chair adjacent to her bed and appeared to be visibly engaged, energized, and hopeful than in previous visits? Do you recall that?
Yes.
You also wrote in that note, Lindsay spoke hopefully of being discharged when the time arrives to Spalding, correct?
Correct.
And then in February 13th, 2023, you wrote in your note that Lindsay also expressed hopefulness in relation to her physical progress. She feels she has gained considerable physical strength and agility despite an inability to move her legs. She admitted that she feels, quote, deserving of this, end quote, in light of recent events. Do you remember writing that?
Yes.
Do you remember on February 16th, 2023, that you wrote in a note that the defendant expressed hopefulness with the news of her anticipated discharge to Spalding and seemed uplifted that she would be cared for in a facility with an excellent reputation?
Yes.
Do you recall writing on February 16th, 2023, that Paula, the defendant's mother, and Lindsay, the defendant, were playing a card game as they communed quietly, and that Lindsay expressed hopefulness with the news of her anticipated discharge to Spalding and seemed uplifted?
Yes.
This cross was so stupid. Like, when she's using words like uplifted, you know she's speaking in a spiritual sense. Like, this woman doesn't get that. You know, she's trying to point, oh, well, you wrote all these things down that she was saying and doing, but you didn't write down the most important thing in the case. Well, she's not thinking about what's the most important thing in the case at all. It's not what she's there for. Right. All right. So Joni said that what she's referencing, Brian sent Tracy what appears to be a Spinelli Facebook page. And we're gonna pull it up. So Joni's saying that it's fake. When I pulled it up like a few minutes ago and I was looking through it, doesn't look right. This woman's a world-renowned doctor. Like, and that does not seem like her, like anything that she would be putting on Facebook. I was telling Tracy, I was like, why the hell would she do that? Because I'm like, when I was looking through it, I'm like, what? This doesn't. She like that thing has, that Facebook page has like Doug Weinstein, a couple of his like shorts. It's just weird. I can't believe that it would be her. But we'll pull it up. I mean, because in my view, Spinelli has to testify. She has to. She's the expert on postpartum. Look her up. She literally wrote the book. I want to see when that was created. It says like 29,000 posts though. I don't know. Getting sidetracked. Let's finish this up.
And again, you've got all these details about her feelings and her thoughts and what she's doing, but nothing about the voices that you spoke of so many times, correct?
Correct.
And speaking of Spalding, you continued to visit her at Spalding, correct?
Yes.
In those conversations with her at Spalding, did she tell you that how in those first weeks at Spalding, that part of her physical therapy, she was working out with a yellow exercise band? No?
I don't recall her telling me that.
Did she tell you that during that time at Spalding, she reached out to a social worker there and asked for help filling out SSDI paperwork to get an income?
That would be beyond the scope of our conversation.
She didn't tell you those things?
No.
I fucking cannot stand these prosecutors. I cannot remember, and there's been plenty of prosecutors that I did not appreciate. I can't even look at them when they walk by me in the morning. Every day they come out. That's how I know they're getting ready to call court, because obviously the court clerk is calling back into their office, which of course is in the building. And they come walking down this hallway, and I'm always standing right in the same place every morning, and they walk by. I cannot even look at them.
Thank you.
So, counsel has asked you about her filling out a form for SSDI. Were you aware of what expenses her family and were incurring as a result of her physical incapacity, paralysis, and being in the hospital?
From my experience with thousands of patients, I had a very clear idea of the enormous expense.
There's a difference between, as the district attorney very appropriately referred to, that your comments were about her thoughts and her appearance and her feelings. Is that correct?
Correct.
There's a difference, however, between privileged communications with a chaplain and observations of a person's feelings and thoughts, correct?
Correct.
Tell the jury what effect privileged communication has when someone talks to you personally as a chaplain.
Because I'm not a medically trained clinician, I approach patients in a vortex of trust. Some of our chaplains at the Brigham are ordained clergy. And so there's this understanding that when a patient interacts with a chaplain, the conversations are confidential.
Do you put them in medical records?
No.
The words, like Lindsay indicated that she felt uplifted. I think counsel read that twice. Were those your notes, or is that what she said to you? Did she say, "I feel uplifted," or is that
That
your
was my
observation?
perception of Lindsay. It was not her words.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Como?
You said you're not allowed to put the defendant's words in your medical records. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. It's not that I'm not allowed. It's an understanding, and it's a conversation that's held in confidence with the patient.
Then why are there direct quotes in these medical records from the defendant?
Well, they're not verbatim transcripts.
No, not a transcript of the whole conversation, but you put phrases in quotes. For example, on February 6, 2023, where it says Lindsay welcomed the visit and shared her fears of, quote, not being able to walk again. So those were her words in your note, in quotes, in the medical record, correct?
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
I use my best judgment.
Okay. I would move to have you submitted as the next exhibit, the notes of the witness in her interactions with Ms. Clancy at the Brigham and Women's.
Any objection?
No.
All right. They may be admitted.
I have no further questions. Sorry.
Hey, Mr. Rankin, go ahead.
I have no further questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. May you step down. All right, counsel, can I see it?
There's that look. When she walked out, that could have just been like, thank you. You know, it's hard to say. OWCP says allude was because Red said not to say what anyone said to her. I don't think she understood the hearsay exception at that point in her testimony. I don't know that she ever understood it. And the question becomes whether or not hearsay is very complicated in terms of trying to figure out what's going to be admissible and what's not, whether it's statement of a party opponent should make it non-hearsay. I don't know if that's what was going on with that or not. Because just using the word, like, I don't know if allude allows you to skirt hearsay in general. I don't know if it's enough. I mean, Commonwealth didn't object. Oh, so we're talking. All right. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think she's incredibly credible. I think she's a very credible witness. She's a, woman of the cloth. She's got no reason to lie. She's obviously a very sincere, loving, God-fearing woman. I have no reason to doubt what she's saying is true, and I think that if you've got jurors that are active, practicing Christians, Catholics, whatever the case may be, they're going to feel the same way about her. I mean, you have credibility as a woman of the cloth. I mean, that just is in stone. That's why it was so offensive when everybody was like, why didn't Red ask for a mistrial? Using religion to try to guilt Sue Clancy into changing her testimony or whatever they thought they were going to accomplish with that hideous question. You guys want to pull up that Spinelli thing? Let's sniff it out. Let's see what we can see. I mean, it's been around for a minute. Hopefully I'm still logged in because I have no idea. No. Okay. People are all up in that shit. Huh. Interesting. All right, let me pull up this page here. Pull this puppy down. Okay. So this is the one Brian sent. Pull this one because there's two. So there's Margaret Spinelli, MD, both saying clinical professor of psychiatry at Columbia University. So it's the exact same bios, right? So let's pull up this one. This is the one Brian sent. Yeah, I don't believe it. I'll just tell you where I'm at with it. I don't believe that she'd be doing that. She is way too wise to be she wouldn't be doing that. So this is Spinelli. So there's apparently some speculation. I hadn't even seen it. All right, so 189 friends. Okay, so it's got a post here, status on her update, 6/20, August 18th. That was pulled down. There's this post with this.
I have been talking about it since day 4. And the Clancy parents were covering the trial, the children's funeral, and I think they had sent something.
So she's got that. Somebody asking this question, why aren't you testifying anymore? She's got a couple of posts with Doug shit talking the prosecutors from 2 days ago that gets posted twice, which is weird. She's got a postpartum. You're not alone. You're not to blame. So 19 minutes ago, why pretend you care? You got to break the rules. So, people are break the court rules with your post and let Lindsay down entirely. Because it's never this account isn't putting up any actual original content. Aren't you being biased? So it's memes in other people's posts. Nurse Humor Daily. Facts about postpartum. Someone looks like it was taken down. The trial will end. Postpartum psychosis won't. Will you still be this loud on May 7th? Again, not hers. All right, so this is allegedly the first thing that there's going to be a mass meeting rally at the Mass Courthouse in Plymouth for Lindsay Clancy. Women are joining together August 20th next week at the courthouse to show their support for Lindsay. We're all going to be wearing pink. Sorry for the confusion. LOL. No, I will not be going. I just wanted people to be aware. That right there. We're all going to be wearing pink. And then in the same post, sorry for the confusion. Did she go in and edit it? Doesn't it usually say if a post has been edited? Sorry for the confusion. No, I will not be going. I just want people to be aware that this is in fact happening on Thursday, August 20th at 7 a.m. People across the nation will be wearing pink in honor of Lindsay in this rally. So we got a bunch of comments. Sad that you would post. So this is all now. Sad that you would post this and take a chance that it interfered with the proceedings. I'm grateful for women who suffer, but to post this as you were being called to testify does nothing to help. So sad about this. Support Lindsay, but see your Facebook cover page, and there's people supporting. Stand with you, Mag. It's not the point. Seeing your Facebook cover page and profile picture is very disheartening. I feel you would have been a great witness for Lindsay, but I probably wouldn't like you as a person. So I don't biased all of you lie for a murder, for money, got that thing going. Caroline says if there are other defense witnesses that haven't been bad enough, this poses a major problem. And one more 45-minute sidebar. You have issues, all of you. I'm happy they took you off the trial. Nikki Lewis tagged me 30 minutes ago. Jesus. Posting somebody else's comment. Margaret allegedly says rally. This is sadistic. I don't know, man. What do you guys think? Putting some heavy duty political shit. All right, so let's check. So, and there was another one. This one. Where can I see all the same intel? I mean, this has a post from June 7th of 2015. That's it. That's the full extent of that Facebook page. 12 friends. Not much about that. Keith Magnuson. All right, what do you guys think? I only have the single screen, so what do you guys think? What do you mean? Possessed about what? What you talking about? Do you guys think that's bullshit? It seems so fake to me. I mean, both of them look fake. But I mean, it appears to me she's not testifying. She wasn't named when the judge was kind of running down what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. Well, what do you mean the wrong one? There's two of them. And one of my mods sent me the first one I showed. So I showed both of them, right? Like, I don't think it's any of the other ones. Wrong one. They both smell like bullshit to me. Got this one, married. All the Margaret Spinellis of the world. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Filter the older posts and see the date. Diane, I'm Bob. I suck at tech. Filter the. All right. Let me see if I. Out of which one? Which one are we more inclined to think could be real? The first one I put up or the second one? Yeah, we need Cam. Really need Cam. Yeah, I think it's fake too. I think it's fake too. No, I'm not going to do the Wayback Machine. It's too late for that. About to dip 2 hours in. Here's what I think we do. I think we wait and see what really happens. We wait and see if she's actually not testifying. Right? Yeah, 12 friends doesn't like it doesn't. I just can't see her doing that. Cannot see her doing that. It's crazy. I mean, Kevin has told me out of his own mouth that Spinelli was testifying like 3 days ago. I mean, she's on the witness list. So I think we just let it play out. I think we take a beat, wait, and see. Yeah, I get it. I mean, she's such an important witness. I'm with you 100%. We need her to testify. I mean, to me, that's a big hole in the defense's case if she doesn't get on the stand and testify. So I don't know. I mean, theoretically, sir rebuttals do exist in the world. I don't know. I am not a mass lawyer. I don't pretend to be one. I do not know if they allow sir rebuttals in mass. Yeah, right. I think she was out in the hallway. We don't know. I think we're all going on what the judge said at the end of the session today, right? Where he kind of runs through. So we're going to have the Resnick presentation, defense will rest, and then prosecution witnesses. I think that was exactly what he said. I can't remember if he said that after the short. All right, that'll be the last thing that we do. Okay. Let's pull it up. Let's just listen and see what he says about the scheduling stuff. And then I'll go through supers and then I'm calling it. All right. Let's see.
All right. Any other?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sure.
It occurred to me, again, as I said, it's only fresh in my mind from the case I had here last year. I know the model jury instructions indicate, and I'm trying to find it in here, that there's supposed to be a consideration of a chalk for the court to write out the elements of the offense, first-degree murder, cruelty and atrocity, premeditated malice of forethought, et cetera. And I would ask that you not do that. I don't think that it's appropriate. I think it highlights, if you will, in simplistic terms, premeditated malice of forethought. I think you and I, we just had a murder case last year on another matter. And I mean, I heard your instructions. You're very forceful with the elements of the offense. And I just don't think we need to have this appendix or whatever you want to call it. And again, I did object to that with the Judge O'Shea. We did not submit the instruction list, cookbook, or whatever you want to call it, to the jury. So I think that the court's instructions would be sufficient. I would not want to have that chalk that is referenced in the model instructions. That's discretionary. It's not obligated. They just say that it might be helpful for the court to give the jury some type of a checklist. But I don't think we should reduce instructions on a murder case to a checklist. And I'm just afraid that what happens is that jurors then take the checklist, as it were, and they kind of look at it or consider it, and they just do exactly that. It's a checklist. So I would ask that you not do that.
All right, just so counsel, my general practice is not to have that kind of list.
Yeah, I remember
I
that, yeah.
generally don't, but I also generally will provide a copy of the instructions
Right.
to each juror. So they'll have their own full copy and they can follow along because the three of you know they're lengthy and kind of dry. So they'll have those with them. But I'll like I said, I generally don't do that chart. All right. So anything else in regards to the instructions?
No, Your Honor.
Right. So my plan would be to have at least a rough draft available for council tomorrow. So you at least have that. And depending on the timing and where we go in regards to the actual closings, we'll have the opportunity for you to review those, go over the draft, and then any kind of objections or suggestions you want to make, we'll have a chance to do that. But so you'll have, again, it's a rough draft. That's all I can tell you. And nothing's in stone. But at least give you an idea kind of where I'm coming from.
Do you think, logistically, Your Honor, that with the presentation of Dr. Resnick and then the government having their three doctors, hopefully we finish the evidence tomorrow, we would be closing Monday?
I would expect either Monday or Tuesday if the parties may need. I'll leave. We get.
It's even worse. I remember it's Red saying it.
The draft and then any kind of objections or suggestions you want to make, we'll have a chance to do that. But so you'll have, again, it's a rough draft. That's all I can tell you. And nothing's in stone, but at least give you an idea kind of where I'm coming from.
Do you think, logistically, Your Honor, that with the presentation of Dr. Resnick and then the government having their three doctors, hopefully we finish the evidence tomorrow, we would be closing Monday?
I would expect either Monday or Tuesday if the parties may need. I'll leave. We can talk about that. But my old experience, there's been a lot of evidence and there's a lot of witnesses. And so if the parties feel that they need like a day to kind of marshal their thoughts, we could talk about that. So either probably Monday or Tuesday. We could talk about that tomorrow. All right. Anything else we need to address, you think?
No, Your Honor.
All right. And so tomorrow we'll be in recess until tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Hopefully we'll start with Dr. Resnick and then, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, right. You just kind of looked at that. Oh, so that'd be the thought. And then we'll just kind of go from there. If the defendant rests, the Commonwealth can then present their witnesses. And if it's not done by Friday, we can go into Monday, and that may mean closings and charge on Tuesday.
Okay.
All right.
And Mr. Verino will be here, yes, to set up the Zoom.
So you're not going to trust me to set that up this time? I think that's a good move. All right. All right. So thank you, everyone. And so we'll be in recess until tomorrow.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Court, all rise.
All right. I mean, there we go. I mean, maybe Red just forgot. We'll just wait. Let's just wait, see how it plays out. There's no use getting all worried about it. Thank you. I agree. Cameron is a spectacular person. All right, let me get through some of these supers. Civil Rights for All. Family Hug. Welcome. Thank you. Love having new family members. Jam, thank you very much for the jewels. Harbinger of Imminent Death, $5. You may have covered this already. What, if anything, were you able to observe about the sidebar immediately after the mortal sin question yesterday? It was heated. And that was hard because there I was at the jury. Like that's a moment where you're looking at the jury saying, give me something. Give me something. And he kicked us out of the room. So like I think as soon as I'm trying to remember the way that went down. So because people were like saying they didn't hear Red object. I did. Like I was sitting there as soon as she said it, I'm like, what the? And Red stood up. And like, I think what happened is when people weren't hearing on the TV, Red's object. And when he's at his table, not at the lectern, he's hard to hear. Right. So the judge knew. And he called the sidebar immediately. And I can't remember if he sent the jury out before or after he told them that it was stricken. I can't remember. I know we took a break. I think that that all happened like contemporaneously, like, and then he took a break. I think it's all starting to blur together. But I knew there was no, like, all the mistrial shit that was going on. I'm like, what? There's no secret mistrials. There's no, like, Red didn't ask for a mistrial. They're not doing it at sidebar. They're not having secret media. I didn't understand why lawyers were talking about it. It was weird. Could it have been? Absolutely. That's not the question. I mean, he could have asked for it. But it's like I was saying yesterday. I'm like, if you think you're winning a case, which Red's been trying cases for an awfully long time, and I can tell you, he's never had a case when he pulled up to the courthouse in the morning and he had hundreds of people cheering for him. Never. When you've got that kind of momentum that you're seeing in the outside world, if you're the lawyer trying the case, you're going to be thinking, if the outside world's feeling it, the jurors are feeling it. Like, you know, I mean, you like your shot, you like your chances. Like, you're not going to, like, why would you ask for a mistrial if you think you're in a position to win the case? That was the whole thing where, you know, that's why he didn't ask for one. And Allie was very clear about, look, it was so egregious that his objection's enough to preserve the issue for appeal without him asking for the mistrial. I mean, I think I remember hearing her say that, and I agree with her. Thanks. 5. Sarah Spinelli was posting on Facebook encouraging people to go to the rally. Wonder if there's an issue. That would be a huge issue. Question is it her? We've all decided. Let's table it and see what actually happens tomorrow. We don't have to wait long. A mere 12 hours from now, 12 hours and however long it takes the judge to open the courtroom. So 12 and a half hours. We'll find out. We'll find out. I mean, Resnick's powerhouse, but he's not dealing with the issue that we need him dealing. Like, the postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis has to be, in my mind, it has to be dealt with. I mean, it's the heart of the case. You know, it's not a standalone in DSM. It's like, it has to be talked about. I don't know. I don't want to worry about it either. I'm just gonna bide the time. I'm gonna bide the time. Thanks, Sarah. Iron Dog, what's your take on that lovely chaplain saying LC was happy her kids were safe? Doesn't that speak to her still not appreciating the wrongfulness of her action? I mean, it could. I took it as in a more spiritual sense, to be honest with you. In the context of who she was speaking to as well. You know, I mean, obviously I worry about stuff probably a little differently than people that don't practice law. You know, I probably overthink shit, but yeah, I just worry that could be construed because you have to assume, like, the way that I look at the Commonwealth and the way that they're trying this case is that they are feeding the people that you see in social media online that are like burn the witch people. I don't give a shit if she was psychotic or not. She killed her kids. She's got to go down. They are appealing to those people if they exist on the jury. You know, I mean, that's how I view how they're trying this case. But yeah, I mean, It's an interesting question. It's an interesting, it's like, I'm here to tell you nothing has changed. I'm still of the mindset that this thing is going to be a mistrial, that they're going to get hung. As much as I don't want it to be the case, but there's just people that refuse to open their eyes and open their minds and learn something. You see them, you know them. I don't need to tell you this. That's my concern. Teresa, the biggest thing is in that deliberation room, are there going to be people that are so adamant and can effectively convince another juror to change their mind? Whoever ends up being the foreperson is going to be a big deal. In this case, for sure. Teresa, thank you. Lorelei Annie, thank you. E-Chase, thank you. Jedi Jen, family hug. Thank you for becoming a member. Milky Joe, $5. I'm worried the defense case in chief has been too disjointed with all the breaks and Zoom witnesses. Super fair evaluation of the defense's case. It's been super disjointed. Really has. Short days. Yeah, it has not been one even flowed it's hard to know why, what's been going on. But it's the challenge in cases, and it's, you're not sharing that with the public in a case when you're in the middle of it. You're not worried about what the public's worried about. You're just trying to get your case done in the most effective way possible. So it's, yeah, I do not disagree with that. It's a little worrisome. I thought Zeisel was so good, though. He was a really powerful witness. He was ultimately the guy who, as an expert, said the magic words within a reasonable degree of medical certainty. She was psychotic. She was in a state of postpartum psychosis. And that's what you need him to say. And he backed it up, and the Commonwealth's trying to talk about, met with her so much. If he meets with her 5 times or doesn't meet with her all and just reads records, they're attacking him for that. When he meets with her that many times, she's your patient. Didn't this move beyond no, it didn't. Just doing a very thorough job. It was developing rapport, trust. So I get more honest answers. He crushed it. But man, we need Spinelli. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Thanks, Milky. Hello. Bob, everyone wants to know about Spinelli or how you spell it. However you spell it, are they going to? I don't know. I'm with y'all. I'm with y'all. I don't know the definitive answer. And I usually text Pat, and Pat's understandably being evasive because I'm asking him direct questions. I'm talking about Kevin's son, who's not the tech guy who was sitting at the table. And you gotta, this is tight to the vest type shit. So, I got a YouTube channel. Defense lawyers, brothers in arms or not, this is shit that you can't, obviously if I knew and I was told not to say anything, then I wouldn't be saying anything. So, but I don't know. Hello, $2. Don't forget cam, guys. Never forget about the cam. Never forget about the cam. Thanks, hello. Not that Nikki. Thank you for the 5. Facebook screenshots came out showing Spinelli posting a lot about the trial. I think that's why they aren't calling her. I mean, we just looked at it, obviously. I just don't believe that's her. Like, I'm also with the mindset. I don't even think that, like, a woman like that, it's like not going to be on Facebook. I don't know. If she is, it's going to be like, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. You guys do some digging tonight. Keep yourself up all night. Not too late, though. Got to get up. Thanks for the 5. LM, McCallie girl. Bob, have you had the chance to look at the Latasha Sanders case? I haven't been able to dig into the full opinion. I know, obviously, it was the case that was very judge that is hearing this case was overturned on very similar fact pattern, not identical, clearly, but in terms of and the judge didn't allow records in. I would definitely take a look at it. I mean, it's going for a retrial. You know, I want to look at the kind of the factual background of it. I want to learn a little bit more about it and see what's up. Thank you for the 10. I appreciate that. Mish from Northern Ireland, member for 8 months. Can someone please explain the mass rebuttal process? See, this is where if I was looking, Allie would be looking up to see if they allow surrebuttals. Some states don't allow surrebuttals. You know, sometimes it's judge's discretion. We'll figure it out overnight, and we'll figure out whether or not they allow them in mass and whether it's discretionary. Thank you. Being a member. Shonta. Is it Shanta or Shonta? Say former or latter in the chat so I know. Shonta would be former. Shanta would be latter. $5. She is a bit of a different voice, but I don't know why people are calling her creepy. I don't think she's creepy at all. Are people saying she's creepy in chat? She looks like a sweet older lady of the cloth. All dialed up, you know? Definitely, like, creepy was not something I was thinking at all. Thought she was a little unusual, you know? She, but I'm assuming that was court attire. I don't think when she's working, doing what she's doing, she's obviously not got her hair all did, all makeuped up. I think that was her going to testify in a court of law. What I'm saying is I don't think that she looks like, what's that amazing show? With on HBO. Oh my God, I'm having with Uncle Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers. You guys will know in the chat. Yeah, I don't think that's how she's rolling. She's not part of like a mega church. So I think that was just like her attire and her appearance she was appearing in court. So she was dressing appropriately. And thank you, Phil. $10. Your dedication is so admirable. The spotlight you have highlighted on Lindsay Clancy will hold providers for women and men going to dangerous routine of the pill mill ending up worse than where they were when they started. Thank you. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's important. It's an incredibly important case. It just is. I got people constantly attacking me on Twitter. It's like, it's not, it never ends. I'm like, and I honestly couldn't give a shit. Like, but when I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, oh, there's pictures of Bob, and there's pictures of Bob, and oh, look, Reddington's like avoiding Bob. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, how, like, where is your life at in general? If like you're taking a portion of your day to just hate on me. I don't know. I can't relate to it. I've just never wanted to do it. It's weird. It's just strange to me. I don't know. Thank you. Appreciate that. Why is my thing not changing the? Oh, there we go. All right. So Phil went through that. Tiff, appreciate you. Perfectly misaligned. Appreciate you. Shonta? I didn't check. I can't, like, I'm looking at a different thing. All right, hold on. I'm going to check to see if she answered. Doo-doo. Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, you guys tell me, did Shonta answer in here? Sometimes things I'm concerned with. And I'm never wavering. I'm just like, this has to come back not guilty by reason of insanity or, lack of criminal responsibility. It's so important to moving the needle. And this is it. This is the time. Like, the momentum's here. Yeah, you and me both. All right. I didn't see. Did Shred see this case and reach out to the Clancys, or did they find him? They found him. Like, he was retained immediately. Like, either that night or the next day. Thank you. Freckle feet. Oh, thanks. Now I'm going to say Shanta just in case it was, or Shanta. I'll say Shanta this time. You have to tell me how to pronounce it. This is going to drive me nuts if I'm mispronouncing your name. I hate doing that. Maybe the alluded to means that she was ashamed to come out and just say it. Maybe. Certainly possible. Thank you. JT, amen. Bob, maybe she said alluded to so she doesn't get accused of using hearsay. I mean, like, the hearsay battle would have been fought in pretrial hearings, motions in limine, in terms of, like, because everybody knew. But, like, I mean, not necessarily about that statement, because, like we said, Commonwealth pointed out, wasn't in the report or wasn't in her notes. Like, she didn't write it down. And I don't know if just using the word alluded to, but it seems like you're quoting what she's saying I don't think that's a way to skirt the hearsay issue. It's an interesting issue. Thank you. Mary Cronin, have you ever served on a jury? No. Wish. It'd be fun. I'd like it. Like to be on that side of it. Thank you for the 2, Mary. May. Mil Montoya, thank you for the 2. Aaron, I'm behind. I didn't love that the chaplain hadn't noted what LC had said about the kids being safe. I believe it would have been better if it had been written. I mean, yeah. I agree. Like, more about the voices. Thank you. Shanta, have any questions equals reasonable doubt. Damn Skippy. Damn Skippy. Thanks. Appreciate you. Lisa, Lisbon, $5 probably said alluded because she was warned about the hearsay and is trying to skirt around that. Maybe. I don't know if that's sufficient though, to be honest with you. And thank you. Loves to run. Don't conflate allegedly with alluded. Allude to means to speak about or mention something in an indirect way. Right. I read the definition. I know what allude means. I was reading it for you in case anybody was cloudy on what it meant. It's indirect. You're not saying something directly. You're implying it. I'm not conflating anything. Maybe you're talking to the chat. I know exactly what it means. What it means is she didn't say the words. I heard a voice. Thank you. Appreciate that. Or she did, and like maybe you guys are right. Maybe they're using maybe this was some plan. But that's not the same as you doing something as a result of what you heard, what your action was in response to what somebody said. Like that's a workaround. I don't like, you know. Zizelle clearly stated what she said. So it could be that she was feeling too sad, ashamed, or whatnot at that time. Not at all bothered by alluded. Good. Well, I hope the jurors are of the same mindset. Or they just didn't notice it. That's probably just me being a psycho, you know, like parsing every word, you know? I mean, how many of you guys noticed it? That's why I was asking. I mean, maybe nobody noticed it. Maybe they were like, oh shit. By what she's saying, they're not even listening to the allude part. Thank you once again. Cheapers, $5. You don't get don't just get extubated and have a convo. 100%. Like you and I do. How about quote? He said if it didn't, inference, common sense. He said, yeah, it's not even common sense. It's just like. But wouldn't your follow-up be like, who's he? Like, wouldn't like if somebody just said that, common sense dictates that you'd say, who's he? That's the very next question you're asking in a situation like this. We were talking about 3 kids being killed. Who's he? Right? It's a question I'd be asking. Thanks, Jeep. James, error 10. Bob, are you here through the verdict? Thank you for your love and empathy. Yeah, I'm definitely like, look, unless deliberations go on for days, I got to get home. Allison's going to kill me. Scarlett's going to kill me. I'm missing like her first 2 weeks of high school. It's a big sacrifice for me personally. Thanks, James. I appreciate you. Jeep, she was in no shape to complete sentences. It was all peaceful. I'm sure that's true. Not just from the being extubated, but just her state of mind and whatever medication she was on in terms of painkillers. I mean, the woman had broken her back. So yeah, I mean, I hope I'm over analyzing the alluded shit. I hope. Hence allude, infer, probably said bites. I mean, I think that's a very reasonable conclusion to reach. I really do. You know, that this was like, you know, not detailed conversations with full sentences, maybe even in and out of consciousness. You know, I mean, Still days after the event. Thanks. It's a good comment. Hope the evil Bow twins almost make me miss Hank and Lally. No. I mean, I gotta be honest with you, Lally was just, he didn't affect me in any way. Like he was like a non-factor. He just seemed like a pencil pusher, like longtime state employee guy. Like he didn't, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't like Hank was far more unlikable, because Hank is a skilled litigator. Hate him or not, dude's a good lawyer. I mean, if you got to, because remember, Hank's really a criminal lawyer, criminal defense lawyer. It's not a prosecutor. He came in and tried that case, and he tried to win it. These two are a whole different thing. But like I said, they're trying to appeal to the torch and pitchfork crew. That's who they're appealing. They're trying it that way, so that those people never move off that position. Like, yeah. So I mean, there's the people out there that just, I see it all over my feeds in response to me and the way that I'm advocating for Lindsay. I mean, they exist in the world. There's a lot of them. Tiffany, family hug. Welcome. Loves to run. $5 paraphrasing is also a synonym. I'm more worried about her not writing it down. I mean, the not writing it down is problematic, but I thought her explanation was very reasonable. And probably if you were to look at all of her notes and notations and journals, whatever she calls what she's writing, it's probably the same with all of them. She's not a doctor. She's not going to be writing, oh, well, she's saying that she heard voices. Was she psychotic? I mean, that's not going to be in there. She's a spiritual advisor. So I'm hoping that her explanation made sense to the jury, because it made sense to me. Sarah Be Creative, and thank you. Sarah Be Creative, $9. Biblically, I am not surprised. Look at Adam and Eve, a reference that hints at something that the reader is expected to recognize. Is in terms of the word alluded, I agree. And I saw a comment. I don't know if it was, I actually meant to start. I don't know if I did. I'll see at the bottom. Something kind of talking about the allegorical sense of it, from a more of a religious perspective. I thought it was an interesting point. Thanks, Sarah. Shanta, so $5 win. Watch when she leaves. I saw that. I definitely saw it. They definitely made eye contact. I pulled that one up a little earlier. I mean, it could have been what you're saying. It could have been like, I always, when I have a witness leave the stand, I acknowledge, kind of like a little head nod. Thank you. Good job. Thanks. Julie, $5. I took it as Lindsay Clancy was glad that her kids were safe from the male command voice. Right. I mean, I think that that's a very reasonable assumption based on the fact that she's saying what she said. That's what I mean. Like, I don't know what her state of mind is, whether or not she's still in some kind of form of psychosis at the time that she comes to. A few days later. Because again, it's that question. I don't know if it was induced, if the psychosis was induced completely by, the Zoloft was the final straw. Like whenever she stopped taking that, like that was it. Because we don't know at this point, like how long she was in a psychotic state. Like we've heard at least 3 days before, she's having nonstop intrusive thoughts. She's thinking awful shit. You know, and this case is so hard because I refuse to hold it against her that she's holding shit back because of fear of reprisal. I mean, that's the world has made it that way for women. That they feel like they can't be open and honest because she's going to get burned at the stake as a witch. You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point behind this. It's like it's easy to say, oh, well, you know, she had the shit going on. She wasn't telling people. Well, it's easy for you to say, sucker. You know, and her nursing license behind her children and her marriage was the most important thing to her. She loved that profession. And if you don't think that that thought entered her mind, because it was important when Zeisel said your intellectual capacity is not diminished when you're in a state of psychosis. It's a very important testimony. Thanks, Julie. Gee, 5602, $10 eluded is an odd choice of words, especially in this particular case. How to properly speak on the stand. So is she using words that she thinks will help make sure she gets the info out? I don't know. It's strange. I know. It is. It's like, I wish Allie was on here too, because I would have liked to have the intellectual conversation with her. But I'll bring it up with her tomorrow for sure. She's obviously running around momming. Thank you, G. Thank you, little mama Nay. Appreciate you. Behind Blue Eyes, $20. I've been a PCA and MH for 40 years, and I also run a mental health practice in Brockton. I would quit my job in a second over 40 years to be her PCA. What PCA? Oh, get her out. All right. No space there. Yeah, I mean, if they put her in prison, if they convict her, I just can't see a conviction happening in this case. Just can't. But I need it to be a win. I don't consider a mistrial a win because I think these suckers will come at her again. I just don't think they're going to get if it's a mistrial. Thank you for your generosity. Appreciate it. Behind. Mama Loca, $5. Red said in the opening statement that the chaplain she told about the voice was a woman. Alluded seems to be a pattern of speech unique to her. Right. I hope you're right. That could 100%. I use the same turns of phrase all the time. I mean, people that watch the channel, like there's a couple things that I say constantly. So that absolutely could be true. Considering she used it like 3 times in like 4 sentences, you might have hit the nail right on the head. The question is the jury figuring that out? Are they even assigning it any kind of weight at all? I have no idea. Like I said, I'm probably overthinking the shit. Thanks, Mama. OWCP. Allude was because Red said not to say would, but that was a different circumstance. That wasn't Lindsay. I hear what you're saying. I don't think she understood the hearsay exception at that point in her testimony. I hear what you're saying, but like when he was instructing her, it was somebody else that said something. But thank you, OW. It's a little. Hi, Olivia. Peter definitely agrees with Bob about Elude Gate. Yeah, I mean, it's good to see you. Miss you. And thanks for being a member, Rhonda Hanks. Member for 2 months. Leah, I love being part of the family. Love that you're a part of the family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amber, 5. Bob, she reminds me of Stifler's mom from American Pie. Ooh. Now, what actress is that? She does kind of look like her. Oh, that's she's in White Lotus. She's in tons of shit. She's in all the Christopher Guest movies. She does kind of like, yeah, she does resemble her. I forget what her name is. She's a funny actress. Thank you for the 5. Hank and Xander, $2 thought CW's stating bans tied to grand jury. Thought Commonwealth stating bans tied to grand jury. Okay, so you're talking about the tied bans. Thoughts? I mean, Patrick testified to it. I don't care about the grand jury. Patrick testified to it in this trial that they were tied. You know what I mean? It's like they lied. They've obviously, decided to just lie. I can't tell if there's a mosquito trying to get up on my shit. All right, I gotta roll. Let's go. Thanks for the 2. Sarah, Judge said starting with Resnick didn't sus. Well, we went and watched it, and it was actually Red saying it. Let's not worry about it until tomorrow. Let's worry when we need to worry. You know what I mean? Thanks for the 2. Unfair View. Thank you for your coverage. Thank you for your generosity. Appreciate it. Jess, thank you. Darcy, 5. I felt sorry for the chaplain because her job is not to fix her psychosis, 100%, or depression, but to help with her soul and spiritual. Yeah, she's her spiritual advisor. No question. I didn't feel bad for her. I felt she was fine. She was honest up there. And she held up very well under cross from a very troll-like prosecutor with a shitty attitude. I thought Chaplain Cavanaugh did just fine up there. Just wish she hadn't used it a little bit. Alyssa Gross, new member. Family Hub. Welcome. My 3 loves does $10. Does she remember Lindsay? Does she remember Lindsay what happened that night, or was she told what happened with the kids? LOL. Does she remember Lindsay what happened that night? Are you saying does Lindsay remember what happened that night? Or was she told what happened to the kids? I think that's what you're saying. I don't know. She does not have amnesia. I think she has some idea, some form of an idea of what happened. I thought it came out that it was somewhat cloudy. Like she had some kind of cloudy memory of it. Okay. Yeah. I'll shut it all down out here too before I come in. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't think there's any part of Lindsay that she didn't understand what had happened. I don't think that's a thing. I mean, again, let's piece it together. Lizelle's telling you that your intellectual capacity is not affected by psychosis. She wakes up and she's handcuffed to a bed and she can't walk. But in terms of the handcuff to a bed, talk about putting some pieces together. Plus, it's like the only reason I can't answer it is because I don't know when you're in a state of psychosis. And hopefully Resnick's going to clear this up. like what the recollection when you're in that state, you're not in your right mind. You know what I mean? It's not, I can't answer the question. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I don't want to pretend like I know. 'Cause I don't. That's why we hire experts as lawyers. And I'm dying to know. Same as everybody, you know? Thank you for the generosity, my three. Swanee, super generous, $50. Thank you. I'll self-ban tomorrow. Bob did great interviewing today. I give grace, great chat. I'm not biased. I critically think. Allie interventions was recommended for maybe overthinking. Thanks to all here. Well, thanks. Well, why do you have to ban? Why is Swanee talking about banning? I critically think. I love critical thinkers. Alley intervention, or does that say alley intervention was recommended for maybe overthinking? Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, the alley intervention. Alley overthinks too. Trust me on that one. Thanks to all here. I mean, I just like having her here because I want her here. Like, it's like I love be able to have conversations about this kind of shit with her. It's a different vibe than me just talking alone. Like, I always want her here, so you definitely don't need to apologize. I appreciate the generosity. I wasn't at all offended. My three loves. I mean, I'm assuming one of the reasons people watch me is because I do analyze and kind of overthink things is from a lawyer's perspective. So, I mean, I hope that's one of the things you like. Otherwise, I don't know. My three loves comes back with $10. Does she remember Lindsay, or was she told what happened that night with the kids? Oh, were you clearing that up? Oh yeah, I think I'd figure it out. Thanks. You didn't need to do that. Yeah, I mean, it's a $1 million question. It's a $1 million question. Thank you again for your generosity. Reed, you aren't overthinking it. CW convinced me. She had PPP. The defense is making me question it. It's my fear. It's my fear. Thank you. Lisa Vogel, thank you very much. My three. She was failed by so many, Lindsay. Yes, she was. And I'm sorry, but her husband failed her big time. I mean, we weren't in the house. This was going on for months. I don't know. I can't sit here and say that. You can't sit there and say that. I mean, you can think it, you can say it. You know, I'm not saying like, we just don't know. We can't pretend like we know what was going on in that house. I mean, you say that her own mother was living in that house on and off. Her own mother was hearing the same shit. Are we saying her mother failed her as well? Like, I'm not blaming because they're not medical people. They're not mental health experts. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel that I'm going to continue to put the blame where it belongs, which is the mental health system, the health system in general. Healthcare is outrageously bad in this country. Mental health care is ridiculous. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Like, again, you know, I've said it. Like, if 3 months Allie's off kilter, like, she's not gonna have to tell me. I'm gonna be like, but like, she was saying things, you know what I mean? And it's like, and if she's seeming like she's okay on a day because she's really trying to mask it, I mean, it's such a hard situation. I mean, I hear you. I really do. But I mean, I just try to give people grace because I wasn't there. It's an impossible situation. She was failed by so many. Frankly, her mother would be in the exact same position that Patrick would be because she was living in that house on and off. And frankly, I think she probably had more candid conversations with her mother. You know? I don't know. Happiness, but thank you, my three. As always, thanks for your streams and explanations. Thank you, Happiness. I appreciate it very, very much. and you being here. Anya, thank you. Into the wilderness, thank you. Shonta. Got it right the first time. Should never have questioned it. All right, good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, like, oh, Shonta. I love that name, by the way. And thank you very much. Lori Paghetti, $2. Margaret, thank you for hosting. You rock. I will make sure I think what I heard is Margaret went down for a nap too, and she's just been sleeping. Like, I haven't seen her since I came down. I hope she doesn't wake up at like 3, like not able to go to sleep. Thanks, Lori. Appreciate it. Lori then gifted 1 DD podcast membership. Thank you. Here for Humanity. Thank you very much. Canadian Cutie, $5 Canadian. For Cam, I love her too. We don't have Venmo or Cash App. Thanks. I'll make sure she gets it. Somebody at the courthouse today came up to me, gave me a big family hug, and she had a gift for Cam that I'm going to bring home. It was so sweet. So sweet. I didn't peek. I'm not going to even peek in there to see what it is. I'm just going to bring it. It's something about Mary, $10. Maybe Lindsay said something like, something inside me was telling me I had to do it, or another similar statement, which is why she said alluded to. Much love and appreciation to you, Allie and Kemi. Thank you. 100% could be it. I like everything that people are suggesting are all distinct possibilities. Like everything. As to the use of the word, maybe it's just in her normal lexicon, use it all the time. Could it have something to do with the fact that she's a chaplain? Yes. Could it be that? Yeah. I mean, who am I to say no? I think it's all possible. I wish we weren't talking about it, is my point. Like, I wish she wouldn't have used it, but I don't know. That's just me. Shown to $5, it's a privacy issue. There are people on staff where it would be inappropriate for them to know to possibly affect how she gets treated by others. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Good point. Thank you. Pistolani. What an awesome YouTube name. Family hug. Welcome. Thank you. So happy you're here. Kate, 5, the whole safe comment made everything fit together for me. All the puzzle pieces fit. I'm confused by your confusion. I wasn't that confused. I think you're misconstruing. Go back and watch. I think it was her. That's why I asked initially if she was still in a somewhat state of psychosis, wherein she's still thinking, all right, well, I did what the voice told me. Now my kids are safe. You know what I mean? Yeah, I wasn't confused. I really wasn't that confused. It's funny how that is. But thank you. Appreciate you, Kate. But I promise I wasn't that confused. But I am drained. I'm definitely drained. This has been grueling. I like, if you think it's just, oh, go up and go to court. It's not. It's like a whole thing. It is like covering a trial like this and creating the content and live tweeting. It's like, it's mentally exhausting. You know what I mean? And put, kind of the emotional tax that I'm feeling just in general. It's all, it's challenging. It's hard. This is hard work. If people don't think this is work, just think you're, it's easy to come. It's not. I'm not going to start whining, but thank you for acknowledging that. It's a lot. And I've been away from home it'll be 2 weeks on Sunday. I miss my family. Oh, wait, let me finish reading. I can't tell you how many people have asked me about this case. They're not law nerds like me. The jury's on board with Lindsay. I hope so. I don't see how you can't be. Like to me, after the failures of the system were made evident, it was over. I'm like, all right, whatever. You guys screwed this woman. Did everything in her power to get help. Sorry, I'd eat that chip. Thanks, Unfair. Lead with love, $10. So funny on Como, you said long in the hair instead of the tooth. Oh, yeah. I want to be saying shit like that. Some days I'm on fumes. I think I remember when I was saying that, I was like, what's that old turn of phrase? Long in the hair. Long in the tooth. Yeah. I remember that. I remember after I said it, I was like, no. I'm not going to let that diminish how fucking awesome that combo was. So it was a great combo. And like somebody pointed out, because like that was the thing where, like when Allie and I were in the Poconos, we didn't like get to sit down and watch Patrick's thing, and like I watched it later that night in bed, like when we were hanging with our friends, and that's why like Allie's like, you need to call him, and I did. I called producers. I'm like, you may want to take a look, because like Chris and I had like a pretty detailed conversation about, you know, whether or not they'd be able to impeach Pat, because he didn't really say, like, you know, and they went and they pulled the transcript and they made their decision to keep it in. They're like, he really kind of diminished, like it didn't come across as like a strong, like, yeah, she told me, you know, and it was like it seemed like an afterthought to me when I rewatched the testimony, but that was their decision. I made them aware of it. It was out of my hands at that point. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. It's me, Andrea. Hoping to get to the meet and greet. I hope so too. Saturday, kind of like figure it's going to be Saturday. We're just trying to figure out the location. Like I'm not doing it in Canton. People keep doing it in Canton. I'm like, no, not a chance. I'm doing it in Canton. Showing to Chaplain reminds me of Beverly D'Angelo from Vacation. Yes. She's kind of like a little bit of the twin, yeah, see, my brain's just not firing on all cylinders. What do they call that when two like actors? Oh, the love child of Beverly D'Angelo and the mom, Stifler's mom, who's in all those Christopher Guest movies. She's in The White Lotus. She's like the eccentric one who loves going to the spa. If you've seen White Lotus, somebody knows her name. Yeah. Thank you. 20th Century Fox. Do the gruesome twosome smoke. Oh, I love that. I don't know. I haven't seen them outside. They'd probably go in the back and smoke. I mean, I can tell you, I'm very sensitive to the smell of smoke as a former smoker back in the day. I don't smell like when they walk by me, I don't smell of them. Like when Lally would walk by you and I never seen the man, I guarantee you that dude smelled like cigs. Thank you. JT, I think you see alluded because your job is to point out facts of what people said. Her job as a minister is to help people without telling people their confessions. So she may use allude a lot. Great point. Great point. Exactly. I mean, we parse words for a living, quite literally. Great point, and thank you for the generosity. Used fridge hoe. I raw dog the fuck out of PP, giving all the respect to all the women in this world who are coming together with every video I see on every platform. We love Cameron. All right. Thank you. Chrissy Mel. Bob, any plans to hit Jake's? If you haven't, it's already a whole staple of amazing seafood. I've heard. Yes, I would like to hit Jake's. I think the plan is this weekend. To hit Jake's. I heard it's amazing. Thank you so much. All right. And Shonta, $10. It is a ton of work in addition to the emotional aspects of this case. Many thanks to you and Allie and Cam for holding us up. I don't have anxiety, but I do with this case. NG or worst case, NGI. Yeah, right. Please. Thank you. You've been incredibly generous all night tonight, Chantal. I really appreciate it. All right, let me just check the other things. We got a steady rain going here. It's starting to drip on me. I want to give some love to Jess. She had sent 50 earlier this morning. Please read the email I sent this morning. Subject is head above water. I got it. So thank you. Like I hadn't got it when you sent that, but I did get it when I sent you the other email. And then Lucky Rabbit 1912 sent $5. Bob, if this ends in a mistrial or a hung jury, would you consider going pro hoc vice for the next if Red asked? Maybe. I would just hope that he'd do it again. What age y'all talking about? What are you talking about, babe? What do you mean? Allie's texting. She finally showed up. She must have just got back from the Minute Clinic or something. And she asked a question in our little private chat. All right, cool. I think I'm done. All right. Let me just check the cash app. So I got one cash app. Michelle, whoa. Michelle sent 150. Bob and Allie, thank you. Mental health matters. Wow, thank you. And yes, it does. So generous. Thank you. How wonderful. A nice surprise. Allie, I'm still on a live. I don't know why you're calling me. I'm wrapping it up. Like, why does she not see me on the live? All right, mods, thank you for your incredible daily hard work. You're heroes all day, and me yapping for 3 hours. I keep saying I'm going to be on for an hour, and then it's 3 hours, and it's 10:30. So I'm saying it's like wash, rinse, repeat every day. It's like I tried to fit a couple meals in. There's like I snuck that nap in today. It was fabulous. I needed it. For all you guys out there, please make sure to like, share, subscribe. 75,000. Thank you. If I wasn't so like run ragged, I would have been making a much bigger deal out of it. Thank you a million times over. It's all because of you. We appreciate you. We love you. You're amazing. We love our community. If you're on replay, leave a comment. Go hype that mental health awareness live, please. It's an amazing thing. And just remember, without y'all, I'm just an old man, really needing a really good night's sleep. I love you guys.